DBP's mission to protect national language. Kuala Lumpur. Since its establishment in 1956, Dewan Bahasa dan Pustaka, DBP, has undergone various transformations as the statutory government body responsible for coordinating the use of the national language and promoting Malay literature. Today, it is set to take on a new mission to make Bahasa Melayu one of the world's main languages while undergoing rejuvenation by making use of social media to reach out to the masses and create programs that appeal to young audiences. One of its efforts is a major overhaul of the DBP Act and National Language Act, which will give the body enforcement powers, according to the standards that it has set. DBP Director General Datuk Abang Sallehuddin Abg Shokeran said amendments to the DBP Act would help the body regulate the use of Bahasa Melayu as the national language, as enshrined in the federal constitution. At present, there are no specific standards for the Malay language, like the one we have for products that are under strict control of Sirim, the Standard and Industrial Research Institute of Malaysia. Our intention was never to become the language police, and we are by no means anti-English. However, in our pursuit of learning other languages, we must also protect the national language as it is a nation's identity, he told the New Sunday Times in a recent interview. He said the draft of the bills were being finalized and would be submitted to the Attorney General's chambers and later, for cabinet approval before being tabled in Parliament, hopefully this year. It would be a mammoth task, but Sallehuddin was optimistic about carrying out the national agenda, aided by political will and cooperation from all quarters. He said while the government aimed to make Bahasa Melayu as one of the main languages of the world, efforts to promote the language in the country would also be intensified. He said various discussions were held between Malaysia and other Malay-speaking countries, namely Indonesia and Brunei, as well as Singapore and the southern part of Thailand. Indonesia, for instance, has been active in promoting their language by sending its experts to teach in southern Thailand. Yes, we speak Bahasa differently from the languages that come from the same origin, Rumpan Melayu. While we step up efforts at the international level, we should also support measures on the local front. Sallehuddin said he reminded his staff to always keep it simple when promoting the language. Learning, he said, should be made fun and language was no exception, with social media being a good platform to reach more people by relating to current affairs. I remember receiving an email from a Manchester United fan saying that he was disheartened by an example used by DBP to explain a Malay idiom after the football club was defeated in a match. This shows that there are people who notice our efforts and this leads to discussions among people. Some people even took the time to write pantun, Malay oral verses used to express ideas, in the comment section, he said. He was referring to an example posted on DBP's Twitter account for a Malay idiom that read, Penyokong Pasukan Manchester United Berduka Cita atas kekalahan Pasukan tersebut dalam Liga Jura-Jura Eropa, Ibarat air diminum terasa duri, nasi dimakan terasa sekam. Roughly meaning, Manchester United supporters feel the loss of the team as their own till they lost their appetite. He said a love for the language should be instilled from young. Family, he said, played a crucial role in encouraging children to learn and use the language. Everything starts at home. Children should be encouraged to read materials in Malay, regardless of the genre. When we were young, some of us were probably more inclined towards romance novels, for example, but our preferences change as we grow older. There should not be limitations when it comes to learning the language. One of the expert panelists for the proposed amendments to the Acts, Associate Professor Datuk Dr. Wan Ahmad Fauzi Wan Hussain, from University Malaysia Pahang, said the Yang di Pertuanagang should be given the responsibility to protect Bahasa Melayu through the proposed amendment to the National Language Act. He said this was in line with Article 153 of the Federal Constitution on the King's role in safeguarding the special position of the Malays, natives of Sabah and Sarawak, and the legitimate interests of other communities. Bahasa Jiwa Bangsa, language is the soul of a nation, and to learn about a nation, one must learn the language first. No one in this world can deny the importance of language that serves as a tool to unite the people. Meanwhile, the amendments to the DBP Act will allow the body to enforce this. For instance, Company names, signages and advertisements that are under the purview of the local governments and other authorities must be approved by DBP in the proposed bill, said the constitutional expert. He said the amended act would provide for penalties for such offenses, as well as for individuals or groups that issue recognitions that were supposed to come from DBP, such as the national laureates.
Sebelum itu, jutaan terima kasih saya ucapkan kerana sudi subscribe channel saya. Syukran jazilan.